Hello guys, today I'm gonna tell you my 5 dumbest backpacking mistakes that I've made so far. It's a bit funny because looking back at it now, it's a bit hilarious because it's so obvious, but I think we all start somewhere, so yeah. So let's go right in. The first stupid backpacking mistake I made was not watching my pack weight at all. I was backpacking in the US, so in California, in Arizona, in Utah, and a little bit in Nevada. But I just packed everything in my backpack that I thought I would need. So there was so much stuff in there that was not actually needed. Like I had a hammock and I had a tent, both at the same time, and the tent was not lightweight. So that was already hilarious. And then I bought the heaviest bear canister at REI, and then my pack weight ended up at above 20 kilos, I think 22 with water. And the first time that I actually tried backpacking a bit further with it, that was in Yosemite National Park, and we went up the 4-mile trail to the glacier point, and then we went to get off into the wilderness to camp. And after going up the 4-mile trail, I was so destroyed from the heavy pack on my back that we had to go back down. And we never ended up camping in the wilderness in the Yosemite National Park. We just stayed on the campgrounds, on the, I think it's the backpackers campground and the wilderness campground for like thru hikers and stuff. And then there's the Camp 4, and we stayed on these both campgrounds, and then just went on day hikes because I just couldn't carry my backpack. The second stupid backpacking mistake is also an obvious one, but it is not testing your gear before you head out for the trail or for the overnight trip or whatever. So this was actually the case for me on the Kungsleden in 2018, so 1 year after the backpacking in Yosemite. And I just had all kinds of gear from other people, and like I didn't want to buy stuff myself, so I got the sleeping bag from my grandpa, and I just packed like some normal clothes, yeah, just whatever, like a normal sweatshirt and stuff. And yeah, as soon as I was on the trail, I was freezing cold because the sleeping bag that I got, there was no temperature rating on it, so I have no idea for what kind of temperature it was rated. And I slept in it, and I was barely able to sleep at all because I was so cold. I was freezing every night, and sometimes I would just like start hiking at 4 a.m. because I could not lay down anymore. I had to make myself warm by walking, and it was horrible. Like I just waited for every night to go by because I could barely fall asleep at all, and then I just wanted to get hiking again because it was so cold. And I also had to buy new clothing on the trail because I was just heavily under-equipped. I just was not prepared for this trail. The only one thing, my backpack was a bit lighter and I think I got the bag weight down to like 13-12 kilograms at this point, which is still not light, but it's a big improvement compared to the 22 kilos from the year before, but still a lot to learn. The third mistake was also on the Kungsleden. I did not carry a satellite communicator. Now I have the Garmin InReach and I bring it on every trip, even on like skiing trips and stuff, but at that time I didn't have one, and I also didn't even think that I would need something like that. But yeah, on the Kungsleden, it's super far north. It's above the northern polar cycle, and there was no service. I think on the whole trail I had 2 days where there was actually some reception, and other than that I would not even have been able to call someone or something. So that was actually quite dangerous, and I was lucky that after some days I found people to hike with, and it was lucky in many ways because I got very sick on the trail. I just probably drank some water that wasn't good, and I didn't filter any water on the trail. I just drank it right from the stream, which in general you should not do, but I think in all the books that I read about the trail, everyone said you can drink the water right away, no need to filter anything. But apparently that was not true, and yeah. So I got sick, and I was lucky that I was with some other people, because if I was alone, I don't know how that would have ended. I mean, I think I would have gotten myself to, I don't know, some kind of point, and there's always people coming by, but I really collapsed on the day I got sick. So it's good that I was not alone. Actually, there was quite a few mistakes in this. Not having the satellite beacon, not knowing much about your trail, not filtering your water. Yeah, so lots of mistakes in one in one big mistake. Okay, the next mistake, number 4, I think. Yeah, number 4 is not bringing climbing equipment when it's needed. And this is also, it's a no-brainer. When there's a part of the trail where you have to climb, then you bring the appropriate gear, or not. I didn't on the Slovenian mountain trail, and I think I also mentioned this in some other video that I really do not recommend doing this, but I have never been in this area. I didn't know anything about it, and then I read on some blogs and on Reddit where people were saying, oh yeah, you don't need the gear, it's just gonna slow you down, the Via Ferrata is not hard and stuff. And it really is not hard. It's not like it's super hard to do it, but just with a heavy pack and maybe you're exhausted, it's just so much better to be safe. And I didn't know this. I felt like the total idiot because everyone else was having all the equipment and I didn't. So just don't do it. And the last mistake is not stopping when you're sick. I don't mean getting off trail, like permanently. I just mean take a rest day when you start you're getting sick. I have to admit that sometimes it's really hard to say, is this just like a cold or is it severe, or I don't know. But in my case, I was feeling that something was definitely not right. And I was thinking, yeah, it's gonna go away as soon as you move. But of course it didn't, it just got worse. And then I went into some section of the trail where there was no way to get out of it other than hiking further. And it just made me even more sick, and I ended up being sick for almost 2 weeks. And I think it could have been prevented in the first place. Maybe instead of 5 rest days, I would have needed 2 if I stopped right away. But of course, you will never know. But just in general, don't hike when you are really, really sick, because I thought I was dying out there, and everything was so painful. I had a fever. In general, you shouldn't do any sports when you have a fever. But yeah, so these are my 5 most stupid backpacking mistakes. I hope you will not do them. I hope that you enjoyed the video, of course, and in the upcoming week I think I will upload a video about the Slovenian mountain trail gear, because I have made some gear upgrades for this year and I'm kind of excited to show you what is new. So yeah, take care and see you on trail.